might not bring them anything similar to
because
Mubarak's
what they're
government.
scared also
Yeah.
of is the Muslim Brotherhood coming to power.
This is one of the things that I wanted to challenge.
Sure.
The Muslim Brothers has been used as a ploy to prolong Mubarak's regime. Mubarak has already established this kind of rotten discourse that either him or the Islamicists. In fact, it is not that. It is neither him nor the Islamicists.
So let me ask you this.
A liberal, democratic, secular government.
Okay.
I don't know if you see many times we have these wonderful, almost innovative inventions of symbols and icons to show the unity of Egyptians, Christians, and Muslims together. There was a wonderful one called
the banner.
Egypt banner. Just the writing the word
what
Egypt
did it say?
With the first, the E is the crescent and the T is the cross.
Okay.
So Egypt,
a sense of
the first
unity
letter
then.
and the last letter are the crescent and the cross.
Sure.
It is Egypt is united, and those who was creating all of this were not really.
So let me ask you this: what can happen with speaking hypothetically, of course, but what can happen in a post-Mubarak Egypt? What are the different scenarios? Are we likely to see a new emerging leadership? Or traditional players like the Muslim Brotherhood, you think, going to be having a more prominent role?
No, what I'm seeing the Muslim Brothers group have been opportunistic enough to just try to jump and hijack the revolution. They have announced wide and clear that they were not going to participate on that demonstrations on the 24th of January. The demonstration went on the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, and when they discovered that it's really they are going to miss the train, they tried to jump on, and they would never constitute, especially in this kind of wide spectrum of views, opinions, Egyptians, Muslims, and Copts together, Christians. So it is not going to be that. What I see and what I hope is that we would have a liberal, democratic, secular Egypt, in which first step is to get rid of that rotten constitution. The rotten constitution that Mubarak is now trying to perpetuate, and by changing one or two articles of that constitution, is a terrible constitution because it is a constitution of absolute presidency.
It's a constitution
all the power.
that
It is actually a tyrannical institution, an institution that makes all the powers in the hands of the president, and all of the others are all more or less pawns that he can play.
Okay, let's just take a pause. Let's take a pause. There's a lot to talk about, obviously.
Yes.
Let's take a pause and just go back to Tahrir Square, get a feel of what's happening there, because really the action seems to be happening there in Tahrir Square. Let's speak to Wael Saildela. I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name. He's a documentary filmmaker and a pro-democracy activist joining us from Tahrir. Wael, tell us what's happening around you right now. What's the mood like there?
The mood is very celebratory. It's very jovial. There seems to be, as we've heard repeatedly in the last 2 weeks, the fear barrier is beyond broken now. It's sort of reached the epitome of the opposite. It seems like the number of the crowds and the way that they're coming in and the amounts and waves that they're coming in with at the moment. Almost claiming a victory. So there's a sense of we don't really care about what TV or what's happening with the media war right now. There's all but an explicit proclamation by the people that Tahrir is ours and it's here to stay.
So who is in Tahrir today? Tell us about the crowds there. We see big numbers again today. It's unclear how many, but at least a couple of thousands, if not more. Give us an idea of who's out there today, who's protesting, and what made them come out.
Well, I think I see that the demographics are really split quite evenly across the board. I keep hearing things left and right in the media, or the pundits are saying things about the Muslim Brotherhood presence. Sure, there are many conservatives. You can't really tell who's Muslim Brotherhood and who's not. But what you have to understand is that these people have been repressed from being part of the public fabric for very, very many years now. And so there is a feeling amongst many of them that this is their chance to join the public and to celebrate with the rest of Egyptians, be they secular, liberals, or socialists. They are here, they're hand in hand, and they are happy to be here and with no political affiliation.
Okay, Wael, I'm just going to interrupt you for a second. I'll come back to you in a minute. We're going to watch images now, I believe, of state TV, what they're showing on state television in Egypt. On the left-hand side, you see a presenter, of course, and on the right-hand side, a bridge with a couple of people on it. Not the images that we're seeing, certainly, of Tahrir Square, where tens of thousands are gathered. They're showing people walking on the bridge there, cars, circulation. They almost want to make it look like a normal day in Cairo, just another Tuesday in Cairo. But certainly from the pictures we have in Tahrir Square of the tens of thousands protesting there, it doesn't look like a normal day. Wael, are you still there with me? Yes, Wael, I was just commenting some of the pictures we're looking at right now from state television in Egypt, showing a completely different picture of Cairo right now. Just a few people walking on a bridge there, perhaps heading into Tahrir Square, but certainly they're not showing the images that we've been showing of the tens of thousands who've been demonstrating again in Tahrir Liberation Square today. And we're hearing the chants there behind you. Well, tell us about what people are saying.
This isn't surprising anybody, obviously. This has been their tactic for the past couple of weeks. The only shift they've really made are that they're showing a little bit of the other side as far as the pundits, as the talking heads in the interviews at this point. As far as the visuals are showing, last time I checked, it was still the camera is locked off on Hudson Neal Bridge with an attempt to show that traffic in Cairo has resumed and everything is back to normal. And usually they pick up a live feed of Tahrir Square after the evening and after the crowd swells have reached sort of their being the thousands instead of the tens of thousands.
The government, they're keen to show very calm Cairo and to project an air of normalcy in the Egyptian capital as we watch pictures there of state TV. We've got the picture from Tahrir Square where tens of thousands have gathered, and we also had pictures earlier from Alexandria, the second largest city, where thousands are also protesting, demanding that Hosni Mubarak stand down. Wael, tell me, do the people there feel that they're achieving anything by going into Tahrir Square and protesting every day? Do they feel like they've made progress in the last 3 weeks?
Excuse me, can you repeat that again? Do they feel what?
I was asking if you and your friends who've been protesting in Tahrir Square, do you feel like you've achieved anything? Do you feel like you've made progress in the last 15 days?
Absolutely, absolutely. Over the past 2 weeks, the emotions have gone through many phases. From extreme anxiety to extreme defiance to almost a sense of achievement that's then pulled away from us by various announcements by the president or by his vice president. But like I said, right now it is an unstoppable wave of optimism. There is a sense of victory that permeates the crowd, everybody going in, everybody coming out. Has a smile on their face. It's almost carnivalesque in a sense. Although the political and legal battles go on, there is a sense that the square has been liberated, and anyone that comes here understands that and leaves with a new perspective.
Okay, thank you very much for speaking to us.
I'm seeing the same faces returning again and again every day.
We've also heard of new faces returning, Wael. Same faces, but also new faces. First time is going to Tahrir Square. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Wael Sail Dela, a documentary filmmaker and a pro-democracy protester, joining us there on the line from Tahrir Square as, again, tens of thousands have taken to the streets there in Liberation Square, protesting against the Mubarak regime in day 15 of these anti-government protests. It is now 14:30 GMT. If you're just joining us on Al Jazeera, of course, this is our extended and continuing coverage of the events in Egypt. Here's Alan Fisher now with a recap of the day's events.
They called for a show of strength, a huge turnout, and they got it. thousands rallied to the cause in Liberation Square. The message is clear. They'll stay here as long as President Mubarak stays in office.
So there's a high rate of turnover. You have the hardcore activists who are camping out yesterday, and you have other elements of society who are just showing up to show their support. And because it's such a big city, one gets the sense that even with a high rate of turnover, you can get a protest that will last for some time.
They gathered just a short time after the president revealed a roadmap for change. But this was reform, not resignation.